Alex Eala defeated Maningkea Sawenki of Thailand 6-3, 6-2 to guarantee her spot in the semi-finals, while the Philippine flags continued to fly and Laban shouts reverberated across center court. The atmosphere was one of pride and excitement, and the crowd was electrifying. However, the Filipina star was utterly stunned by what transpired after the game, when the cheers had subsided and the cameras appeared to have captured every significant moment. For weeks, a group of her most loyal Kababayans had been discreetly organizing something extraordinary, keeping their surprise a close secret. When they eventually revealed their incredible gift to their winner, the moment swiftly became well known across the tennis community and sparked conversation among fans worldwide. Why is it being referred to as the most poignant moment of the grass court season, and what did Filipino fans offer Alex Eala that made her cry? At Birmingham's Edgebase and Priory Club on June 5, 2026, Alex Eala demonstrated once more why she is one of tennis's brightest young talents. Although they defeated Maningkea Sawenki of Thailand 6-3, 6-2, the scoreboard only revealed a portion of the story. The quarterfinal matchup was much more competitive than it seemed. Eala battled through 9 deuces and saved 4 break points in the first game alone, which lasted almost 10 minutes before she was able to hold serve. The Filipina celebrity resisted giving in to constant pressure. Rather, she won 4 straight games to gain control of the opening set. In just 1 hour and 21 minutes, she finished the match by winning the last 4 games after carrying that momentum into the second set. She advanced to the semi-finals and won in straight sets for the 3rd time in a row at the Birmingham Open, but the night's most memorable moment was still to come. Chants of Laban reverberated over center court as Philippine flags fluttered wildly in the twilight air of Birmingham. After hours of fervent support, thousands of Kababayans who had come from all around the United Kingdom and perhaps even the Philippines itself sprang up in jubilation, their voices hoarse. This victory was not Alex Eala's alone. It belonged to every Filipino who had waved a flag, shouted her name, and transformed a foreign tennis venue into a sea of national pride. It belonged to the families who had driven 6 hours from Scotland, the overseas Filipino workers who had used precious vacation days to be there, and the grandparents who had flown all the way from Manila to witness a historic moment. Eala understood the significance of that support. She had always recognized the sacrifices her fans made to stand behind her. Reflecting on her performance, she said, "I ended the match feeling better than I started. Conditions were difficult today. It was cold and windy, so I'm happy with how I pulled through." It was a humble assessment of another impressive victory. Yet, as the applause slowly faded and spectators began to think the evening's biggest moments were over, something completely unexpected was about to happen. What came next after the match, after the celebrations, cameras thought they had captured everything, would leave the Filipina star utterly speechless. Alex Eala was unaware that a group of her most loyal Kababayans had been secretly preparing something remarkable for their champion for weeks in the background. Long before she ever set foot in Birmingham, the narrative started. Filipino fans from all nations, cultures, and backgrounds united in online communities with a common goal. One thing brought them together, whether they were in Birmingham, Manila, the United Kingdom, or the United Arab Emirates: a steadfast faith in Alex Eala. Excited group discussions erupted as strategies were meticulously planned, ideas were shared, and concealment became crucial. They wanted their present to be more than just a mark of gratitude. It had to convey both their respect for the person she had grown into and their enthusiasm for her accomplishments on the tennis court. They wanted to celebrate her incredible journey, pay tribute to her Filipino background, and acknowledge the sacrifices she made while proudly representing the Philippines on some of the biggest tennis stages in the world. After weeks of deliberation, a straightforward yet significant concept surfaced. They would give Eala a lovely piece of jewelry that she could cherish both on and off the court, something sophisticated, classic, and profoundly significant. However, this wouldn't be your typical jewelry. It would be a well-selected gift to symbolize the pride, love, and appreciation of a whole community that had supported her at every turn. The sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines and a representation of simplicity, humility, purity, and calm strength, was the focal point of the design. For Alex Eala, it was a very significant decision. The young Filipina star was clearly moved when Nike honored her roots with a bespoke hair tie that featured the sampaguita on her Wimbledon debut just a year prior. Ella expressed her feelings on social media at the moment, characterizing the flower as a reminder of her heritage, her nation, and the path that had led her to the stage. Her admirers now desired to give her the same potent sign in a form she would always treasure. A Filipino craftsman who recognized the importance of the project created the jewelry on demand. Every element was thoughtfully designed as a tribute to a young athlete who had inspired millions with her skill, tenacity, and unshakable pride in serving the Philippines, rather than just as an accessory. The fans were incredibly committed to keeping their secret during the weeks of preparation. To make sure everything would go as planned, they bought tickets, arranged travel plans, shared ideas across continents, and even collaborated with tournament organizers. Creating an unforgettable experience for Alex Eala was their straightforward objective. The supporters made sure they would have the opportunity to greet their winner when the time came by securing spots close to the courtside barrier after weeks of meticulous preparation. After that, their only option was to wait. They knew their chance had arrived on the evening of June 5, 2026, after Alex Eala defeated Maninkaya Sawanky of Thailand in the quarterfinals. Eala's decisive 6-3, 6-2 victory was greeted by an electrifying crowd at Edgbaston Priory Club. While the Philippine flags were still flying brilliantly across the stands, a small group of enthusiastic supporters started to advance in the vicinity of one portion of the barrier. For this occasion, they had come a long way. While some had traveled great distances from Scotland, Wales, and London, others had flown in from Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Manila. Despite their disparate upbringings, they were united in their desire to express to Alex Eala how much she meant to them. Ella approached the barrier as she always did, still recovering her breath after yet another amazing performance. She greeted people with a warm smile, sincere gratitude, and special care for her youngest followers. However, something felt different this time. A woman with a little velvet box emerged from the group as the audience observed. It was subtle and delicate, but it was hard to miss. The box shimmered faintly under the strong stadium lights, attracting attention right away and indicating that this was no typical post-match contact. Something unique was going to happen. Alex Eala hesitated. Her gaze turned to the little velvet box, and her hand, which had been reaching for a young fan moments before, remained suspended in the air. She felt that this was much more significant than a standard post-match conversation, and her gaze shifted from the present to the woman's face. With a steady yet passionate voice, the woman said, "This is for you, Alex. From your Caribbeans, from all of us, and from everyone you've motivated." Every detail appeared to be amplified as the cameras concentrated on the scene. The fans' somewhat shaky hands as she gave the gift, the increasing astonishment in Eala's eyes, and the abrupt silence that descended upon a group of people who had only moments before been having fun. Eala took the package carefully and opened it with a type of respect that is typically given for something really intimate. A lovely necklace with a delicate gold chain and a pendant shaped like the Philippines' national flower, the sampaguita, was found within. Each petal was painstakingly crafted to capture the beauty and meaning of the flower power, demonstrating the exceptional craftsmanship. Two straightforward yet impactful words were engraved on the reverse and could only be seen when held up to the light. "Laban always." Ella seemed overwhelmed for a second. A wave of emotion passed over her face, and she raised her hand to cover her mouth. The same opponent who had persevered under duress on the court now found it difficult to speak. As she gazed at the gift and the supporters in front of her, tears welled up in her eyes. "I am," she said in a barely audible murmur. "I don't know what to say." The woman grinned as she moved forward. "Alex, you don't need to say anything," she answered. "Just know that every game, every point, every second, we are here for you. Always, Laban." The necklace was transformed from a piece of jewelry in that moment. It began to represent the relationship between a growing celebrity and those who had helped her along the way from the start. After staring at the necklace for a considerable amount of time, Alex Eala raised her gaze to the sea of Philippine flags that were still flying with pride across the stands. She appeared to be overcome by the significance of the act and the love that went into it, holding the velvet box close to her chest. The moment that everyone present will never forget then arrived. In front of thousands of applauding spectators and innumerable admirers from all around the world, she carefully took the necklace out of its box, unclasped it, and put it around her neck on center court. The gesture's meaning was immediately grasped by the audience. This was neither a symbolic acceptance nor a kind thank you. It was a sincere embracing of all that the gift stood for. Eala touched the pendant, grinning through tears. In one corner of the stands, a young girl who had received a signed ball from Ella earlier in the tournament squeezed her mother's hand and pointed toward the court, whispering to her mother, "I will never take this off." The stadium erupted immediately, not with the typical roar that follows a match-winning point, but with something far more emotional, applause mixed with tears, laughter mixed with pride, and strangers embraced as if they were family. What came next was equally amazing. Videos of the event swiftly went viral on social media as fans posted notes, reactions, and films honoring Eala's strong bond with her followers. Filipinos all across the world took great satisfaction in witnessing one of their own embrace a representation of their culture and homeland on a global scale. Many characterized the necklace as more than just jewelry. Rather, it serves as a reminder of Eala's travels, sacrifices, and aspirations each time she took the court. The occasion grew beyond a tennis match as the pictures went viral. It turned into a tale of thankfulness, self-discovery, and the special connection that exists between an athlete and those who supported her long before the wins, the media attention, and the spotlight. Even other tennis players and members of the tennis community noticed, realizing that they had seen something unique, a moment in which sport, culture, and emotion came together in a way that resonated much beyond the court. It's all about this. Alex Eala's devotion to her admirers is unparalleled. Filipinos, I'm crying with you. As the moment continued to reverberate well beyond center court, many people on the internet expressed that emotional response. Legends of tennis were also transferred. Venus Williams, who was recently connected to a surprise appearance at the Birmingham Open, wrote, "I've been in this sport for 3 decades," in a poignant homage. "I've witnessed champions come and go, but this camaraderie is unlike anything I've ever witnessed." Alex has a family in addition to her fans. And tonight, that family gave her something that would always be in her heart as well as on her neck. Billie Jean King, a tennis legend, also commented, describing the occasion as a fantastic example of what sport really stands for. "This is the magic of sport, connection, not awards or rankings." Alex Eala has created a unique community that transcends boundaries, makes sacrifices to be present, and loves without conditions. The jewelry is lovely, but what it stands for is invaluable. Media outlets in the Philippines celebrated the occasion as a national holiday. While official remarks emphasized the pride and solidarity generated by Eala's journey and the unwavering support of her supporters, television anchors grew visibly upset during live coverage. An elderly Quezon City resident named Lola Maria, who had been a tennis fan since the 1970s, long before any Filipino player had ever made an impression on the international scene, provided perhaps the most heartfelt response. When she saw the video of Eala putting the necklace around her neck, she started crying.